Hey guys, just figured I'd do a quick update on the NSEA protector. It is most of the way done. I want to say this is update number 3, or is it 4? But this update, it will be the second, should be the second to the last one. Most of the stuff is put together. I've got the wing went together. I had some issues with the wing because I didn't glue the wires down where I should have. Realized that too late. So the wing took a little bit of effort. I've got some putty work or fill work that I'm doing on it, and it's ready to go from basically 3 pieces down to 1 pretty quickly. I've got to do some sanding on the putty work, and then basically I'll be gluing it together after I do a little bit of soldering. So let me switch over so that you can see what I've got going on. So the base is still done, has been done for a long time. The only thing I got to do is run some wires down here so that I can put a plug down here at the bottom and apply power to it. The wings look pretty good. The only problem is there were some serious gap issues here, because if you see on the bottom here where this trench is, I did not realize down here on this end how close that trench was actually to the upper plastic here. It was so close that by gluing my wires in a zigzag pattern the way I did, when I glued this down, when one side was down, the other side would pop open. I'm not sure if you can see right here, but there's a gap, a little bit of a gap there. There's a little bit of a gap here. With the putty work and repaint, it should work out pretty well. Those gaps should disappear. They're filled already. Then I got some paint touch-up work to do. Right now, the lights in the engines and the intakes up in the front are pretty good. What I am going to do in the front is I'm going to add some fiber fill in there so that it diffuses it a lot better than it is now. Let me turn this off, and you can see I've got a pretty good engine glow going back here, and you can see right here the engines are glowing pretty good. I mean, it's not quite that bright. You can actually see the different LEDs when it's not powered. There's actually 4 LEDs in there, there's 2 3 millimeters and 2 5 millimeters. Let me go ahead and shut this down so maybe you can see. So what I did is I put a 3 millimeter in here because there's no way that could go any further back. So there's going to be a hot spot no matter what I do with the fiber fill. Then there's a 3 millimeter right here that is pushed back. A 3 millimeter or 5 millimeter, here, which is pushed further back, and one on the top of the wing, top of the engine section, or bottom actually of the engine section. And I did the same thing on both sides. The fiber fill, when I did a test look at it, the fiber fill put in here diffuses these out to where there's a pretty even glow all the way across here, and just a hot spot up here where this LED is. I'm going to try and make sure I can keep these the red there and the red there. No, I'm going to, like I said, I've got some touch-up paint to do. I'm going to leave these brass. Not sure if I'm going to be able to paint this and leave the brass looking like brass there because of the way these are. To leave that brass, what I should have done is I should have painted this part before I glued the photo etch in there. And these are going to fit on here. I've fit them before, but now you can actually see what they're going to look like once they're done. And there's a blue lens that goes in there that I'm not going to put in right now. I'm not gluing it until these are both done, but that blue lens, these two blue lenses like this, are gonna, and the fiber fill are gonna make this pretty much opaque other than when there's lights on. These little winglets will go back here once the once I've cleaned up the putty work back there, because I did putty all the way around the seams. Then these will go back in here, one on each side. I need to paint them first before they go in there. I'm gonna just paint the whole thing dark. I'm not gonna worry about it being the edges being white. The last piece that is not part of the main assembly is the little radar dish that goes up here in the front. I'll be gluing that on after I do some paint, after I paint it silver. So let me show you the lighting for the main body of the ship. And I had a little bit of problem with the main body of the ship when I plugged it in, when I set the yacht on top. It didn't set, come on, it didn't set down nicely, so the yacht was lifted, a little bit lifted off. So I actually went with it. You know, you can see on here that we've got some pretty good lighting up here in the cockpit, some pretty good lighting on the sides. These will be, oh, two more pieces. These two pieces will go up here on the nose, something like that. Looks like they probably will need to be light blocked because how much light is coming through here right now. But you can see a little bit here what I did, because I couldn't get it to lay down flat and look good. What I did, and it's washed out a little bit, but there's a blue LED in here, and so with the blue LED and the fiber fill, it actually in person looks really cool. It looks like it's lifting off from the ship. This will then sit on here, and then this part here, there's a part that goes on here so that it will clip on there. One thing I said I was going to do too is show you guys how, because some people were curious, how I use these Arduino leads. And this used to be a male to female. This is now a short. This is going to be my power in. You know, this will hook to a plug. My wires, let me go ahead and kill this glare. My wires for bringing power into the model are right here, and these wires and these wires will get soldered to these two and shoved down inside of here. Shouldn't block any of the light, I don't think. And then back here is where I put the female ends of the wires. They're super glued down to the side of the hull, so that when I go to put power on it, before I if it's not already plugged in, I just have to slide these on here, just like that. And the same to this side. And the way I'm wiring this is that the black is going to be the normal black lead, which is going to be the negative lead. The white is going to be positive, which is the red wires inside. The black will go to the green, the white will go to the red, and everything will be color coded. And in case I forget, I did one other thing. Red starts with an R, so I put the positive wire on the right hand side. So that's what's going on with the protector. Like I said, really close to being done. There's a lot of time consuming work that I've got to go through here and sand down all of the sand, or not sand, yeah, sand down all of the putty work, which the plastic putty with a really thin applicator was really good for this. Once I do all the putty work on here, let's see, looks like on the nose I'm going to have to re-putty. But once I do all the sanding and the putty is done, I'll repaint, do a little bit of repaint. I'm not going to do a full repaint of the entire ship. I'm just going to repaint where it needs it. I'm like back here, I'm going to just tape over top of these, probably just go straight across, but I've got to paint the front and the rear of that section. So a little bit of work, but it's really close to being done. I have to say this is it's an easy kit until you light it. Then it becomes a little bit difficult. Kind of, there are some surprises to it, like how thin this is. Matter of fact, here's how I did this in case you build one and you run into the same problem. Here's how I was able to get it closed up, because this is it's an older type of plastic. I'm not sure what kind of styrene it is, but to me, extra fine didn't work on it. Where's the Tester's liquid cement didn't work on it, so I ended up using strictly super glue to close this up. And on the ends here had a little bit of fit issues. It popped open. Anywhere where it popped open that I could, what I did was I put glue into the seam, and then I put the piece that I just glued into the vise. I've had this vise for years. I've never found a really good use for it until this model, but I put it into the vise and I literally tightened it down almost completely, to where it was literally crushing the model together. And it did leave some marks on here, but it didn't do bad marks to the plastic because it's got these little rubber bumpers on it. So it's where the protector's at. I'll be working on the Voyager some this weekend as well. I haven't finished the blinker board yet. When I finish the blinker board, that's going to go into the Voyager. I'm going to do some light work on the lights on it. Then I finally got my paint in. I'll do the base colors on the paint, or on the I'll be doing the base color on the Voyager. It's already light blocked. I'll be gluing things together, and I'll be doing fiber optics. I will do a video on how I do the fiber optics, just so that you've got an idea. I'll also show you how the blinky board that I worked on last weekend, when it comes together, how it looks. The part that I worked on and then got discouraged, and I fixed it. I put it on power, and I let it sit there and run for like 2 days, and out of spite, that thing just never quit. So it's a good setup. It's just that it's a lot of soldering to do at one time. So I'm going to cut it off here. You guys have a great evening, day, weekend, whatever, what have you, and I will talk to you later.